Hello, welcome back to Scaredy Cat Rides. I'm here today at Chessington World of Adventures on a sunny Saturday. I might not be doing much today, so this could be a very short vlog, but I'll just get a couple of updates around the park. Basically, I was dropping off my partner at Heathrow this morning, and I thought, why not? Be rude not to pop in, wouldn't it? Especially because Vampire celebrated its 35th birthday yesterday, so absolutely got to get a ride on that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a chill one. It's just me today, so I'm just gonna see what's happening. But I'll send you some updates as I go through the day, and yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, so I've had a ride already on Dragon's Fury, which is my bad luck ride. It always breaks down on me, and it didn't today, which is amazing. So I got on it straight away. I've been on Rattlesnake, and I was just about to have a go on Team Blaster, and it broke down when I was in the queue, which is a shame, but it is what it is. I wasn't sure I was going to do that one today, to be completely honest, so it's a bonus ride that I just didn't get, which is absolutely fine. Anyway, I'm stood here, and you can see that there's a lot of changes in the park for Chessington this year. I'm never a big fan when you're walking around a park and you see all this fencing, truth be told. But I will say, last season when I was stood in Mexicana, I did see a lot of disappointed families heading round to Scorpion Express and then realising it was closed. So I think this is good because it kind of prepares people right from the off that you know, if you're walking around here, you're not going to get on it. So I don't love it, but it's definitely an improvement. At the moment, Vampire is still closed, which is a shame because I've been absolutely desperate to get on that for its 35th birthday, but we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully it'll open soon, and in the meantime I'm going to go check out the gift shop. Okay, so I am here obviously the day after Vampire's 35th birthday, which means I can't not talk about this iconic staple coaster for Chessington World of Adventures. Now, I have so much love for this ride. This ride for me, like for so many people I'm sure, was the first kind of big ride that you do, and I just associate it so much with that sense of accomplishment when you come off a ride and think like, wow, I did that, you know, except like this gives like the little ones that chance to have that, and it's such a special coaster, and it's so good to see that the park is really recognising that. Of course, we've had a couple of special events. There's a brunch today that I was really tempted to do, but I can't spare the £125 for it, unfortunately. Might get interrupted by the coaster, but I'll keep on talking and we'll see what happens. They have been honouring the birthday. There's a nice happy birthday notice out by towards the entrance to the queue line. When you go into the station, the Vampire's wearing a birthday hat and he's got a cake, which I absolutely love. I think that's such a cute touch, and I absolutely love it when Merlin does that. I'm just going to get the coaster behind me if I can. There she goes. So as you can tell, if you don't know already, Vampire is a suspended coaster, and it's aimed at that kind of family thrill market. As I say, it's a really good opportunity for either little ones or nervous people to have their first experience on a slightly more thrilling coaster. So it's such an important ride for the park. Which brings me to some of the negatives actually. I did think, as it's, you know, first of all, it's been like this for a while, but as it's coming into the station, it is a shame that you had this really well themed queue line, and then you sort of come into what feels like a maintenance shed. So I'd really love to see them do something about that. It takes away a little bit from the experience, to be honest. Now the other thing I need to mention, of course, is that it is 35 years old. That does make it quite old in terms of roller coasters. We've just seen Nemesis have a massive retrack project whilst it's approaching its 30th birthday, and this has got 5 years on that. And unfortunately it is showing its age. Now as enthusiasts, a lot of us will go on these slightly rougher rides and say, oh, you just need to know how to ride it. Now, so let the coaster go past. That holds up on rides maybe that are for adults, but for a ride which is so geared towards children, I don't think that argument really works. And unfortunately on my ride just then, I did come off the ride and there was a child just behind me who was crying and clutching his head because he banged his head early on in the ride. And I just don't think that's ideal really for an attraction which is aimed at children. I don't want to see us lose Vampire. It's such an iconic ride, but I really, really hope that Merlin can invest in this like they're investing in other areas in the park, and make this a more accessible attraction again, because it's a shame, you know. Like I was saying earlier, I get that sense, I remember that sense of accomplishment as a child, but a child's not getting that when they've come off and they're clutching their head because they banged their head on the restraints. So yeah, I think unfortunately it does need a little bit of a rethink. Hopefully, I know they're putting a lot of money into the park, but hopefully this is something Merlin can take care of too. They obviously know what a classic it is that they have on their hands, because they have done all these events around it and they're really celebrating the birthday. But yeah, I'm going to keep on having a bit of a day. To be honest, I've done most of my key rides now with the exception of Mandrill Mayhem, so we'll see what happens. I'm happy just to have a nice lazy one. Like I say, I was up nice and early this morning dropping someone off at Heathrow. So yeah, I'll let you know how I get on. And we'll see. A front row ride there on Mandrill Mayhem. It's the first time I've been on since I've been on it for the first time, so it's given me a bit of time to digest that experience. I got a front row, which is amazing. I still love this ride for the sort of junior thrill market. I just can't get on board with that element behind me, I have to be honest. I don't think that kind of tipping on your side thing really actually offers anything that's particularly fun, but maybe that's just me, maybe I'm a Scrooge. I am learning that backwards launches, I tend to feel quite sick on them, so I really need to remember to make sure I'm hydrating before I do those, because I do think that makes a difference if you're prone to motion sickness. I don't normally get sick on rides, it's just something about those backwards launches for me. Now let's talk about the element that is just behind me there, which is where you go upside down, or an inversion. Would I recommend this as a good first inversion ride for people who are nervous or maybe young'uns? I would say brave young'uns, yes. If it's just that you're nervous, personally I think there are still better inversions out there for you to do as your first inversion, just because you do get quite a bit of hang time, and if you are feeling nervous that can be just that little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, but it's still a good fun ride, it's still worth doing. Don't by any stretch of the imagination let that put you off, but if you're really sort of strategizing and thinking, right, I'm going to do upside down, what do I want to do first? There are possibly better options out there. I personally would still say Icon is going to give you a more pleasant inversion experience than that, but each to their own. Right, I'm getting quite hungry. I've packed loads in this morning, so I probably am going to call it an early one today. But yeah, so I'm going to go get something to eat. I might get a couple of re-rides. I'll probably do Mandrill again, as I've got a single rider queue and that's nice and quick for me. Yeah, so I'm going to go fill my stomach, hydrate. Remember kids, hydrate. And I'll see you in a bit. So of course I can't do updates from the park today without talking about Land of Asia behind me, which is closed until 2027. Now what I'm hearing is that we are getting a Minecraft land. I've heard some criticism of this. I mean, let's face it, you either like an IP or you don't like an IP. I do tend to think that non-IP is better than IP. That said, when I think of some of my most, I don't know, favoured memories of coming to Chessington as a child, I do think of Beano Land almost straight away, and who's to say that Minecraft won't be that for the generations now? So I can't criticise it too hard, because I did really love the IP that was actually pretty much in this area before Land Invasion moved in. That said, I did want to touch on the fact that, of course, in 2031, we have Universal Studios coming. Now, there's been a lot of talk online about what that means for the Merlin parks, and of course we're all hoping this means we're going to see better Merlin parks. I do think for the most part the parks will be okay. I do think they do need to step up their game quite significantly, but I think they'll be okay. The one park which does give me a little bit of concern is Chessington, just because of the sort of demographic of people who come here and the demographic of people who are going to Universal. And yes, I do think people will come to Universal and then go to other parks, but does Chessington have enough of a draw to bring people down? I think personally that is definitely up for debate. But I would love to be proved wrong on that, because Chessington does deserve all the love, and if it can make an impact on the international stage, that's brilliant in my view. But when we're talking about IPs, that is when I start really getting concerned, because let's face it, there are two parks in the world that are absolute leading parks for IP areas, and that is of course Universal and Disney. Merlin are never ever going to compete or be on that level when it comes to IPs. So with that in mind, would it maybe not have been better to, well, they probably possibly didn't know when they were developing this, but I think it would have been better to stick with something like Land of Asia, which of course fits into the World of Adventures overall theme for the park, and then just kind of that, I think, lends a kind of cutesiness to it that an international audience might appreciate in the way that they might not with an IP done not as good as an IP an hour up the road. We'll see, time will tell on this one, but that is my worry at the moment. And yeah, but who knows, we could be looking at a future where an international audience gets to really appreciate Chessington, and I really hope that is the way things go. In terms of, is it worth coming down to the park with two areas closed? In my view, yeah, definitely. There's plenty here to do at Chessington, even without Land of Asia. People have made a lot of noise about two areas being closed, but I think we need to be really clear that Scorpion Express has been SBNO for quite a while now. So really you're only kind of losing that one area. So I don't think personally it's making that much of a difference. Ride times here, or queue times here, sorry, have been pretty much what I would expect for a sunny day. They don't feel excessive because of not having that availability there. So yeah, I'm going to take a walk around the park now, maybe getting some last little re-rides, things like that, see anything I haven't seen, get some lovely footage for you guys, and then I'll probably be calling it a day, to be fair. And it's bright and early still, it's not even 2 o'clock yet, but I've actually just been able to get around and do the things that I want to do, so I don't necessarily feel the need to do more, and as I mentioned previously, I've had enough sleep, so yeah. So I will do that, and then I will do a little wind up at the end. See you in a bit. Okay, I'm wrapping up my day now here at Chessington. I have to say it's been a pretty good day. For the most part, I've only got good things to say about Ops. Only small thing, can't remember if I filmed this already, so I might have to cut this, but Vampire in the Apple Day has been showing as either closed or 5-minute queue, when in reality it's open when it's saying closed and has maybe a 2-hour queue. So that's not ideal, and I think not really, it's a bit of a shame given, you know, it's a celebration for Vampire, being that it's the day after its 35th birthday, so that's kind of really when you want those operations to be really good, which is unfortunate. I will say that dispatches have been really good, or well, I had, because I decided not to queue for 2 hours. The dispatch I had on Vampire was amazing. I saw an operator run down the station checking the restraints, and I've only ever seen that on the continent, so fair play, that was really good. It is of course busy here today. I got most of my rides in by getting here really early. I say really early, I mean I got here maybe 25 past 9, and to be fair, they let us in early. They let us in at I think 10 to 10, so I got most of the stuff done that I really wanted to do right at the start of the day. It was really nice to have a good look around sea life. It was really nice to just have a little mooch around the zoo. I thought I didn't get it on camera and I'm so gutted, but I was looking through the thing of the spider monkeys and just 5 of them in a line just went past me and I was like, this is adorable. But yeah, unfortunately I didn't get that on camera for you, so you'll just have to picture these adorable little yellow guys. Yeah, obviously it is the first day of the Easter holidays for most, so the queues have got quite lengthy as the day's gone on. It is always worth getting down early if you can to beat the queues. As I mentioned earlier, even with the closures, and you can see if you look at the map here actually just the extent of it. So obviously this is where Scorpion Express was, and that area's got a new land coming in 2026. And then we follow the map down to here in this corner, which was Wild Asia, and that's I believe where we're getting the Minecraft land. But when you take in the map as a whole, you can see there is 2 kind of big spots just missing, but there is lots else to do. Gosh, have I missed my calling as a woman? I feel like that's what I'm doing. Chances of study spells. Yeah, so it has been a really good day. It is 2:40 now that I'm leaving, and like I say, I've done a re-ride on Mandrill. I've got 2 front rows, brilliant. Single rider queue was operating like a dream. Yeah, it's been a good one. I've had a chilled one. It's lovely to see Chessington. It's lovely to see Chessington in the sun. I'll always have so much love for this park. And please don't be put off by the closures. There's still so much to enjoy here, so get on down. And as I've said before in other videos, do check them out. This is the perfect park for scaredy cats. Like, I'm so passionate about this. If you're nervous about rides, get on down to Chessington, because there's so many things that you can explore on just that smaller level that's going to be that much easier and that much less daunting. Plus, it is a nice park to be in, just to, you know, if you come and go, actually, you know what, I can't do it, the ride's not for me. Cool, go and watch some penguins. Who's not happy watching penguins, you know? So yeah, I'm going to wrap up here. I'm tired. I want to go home to my cat. But I'll see you soon. I used to close out saying do the brave things, I believe in you, and then I felt a bit copycatty having an outro, but I always felt awkward not having it. So I just want to reaffirm in a non-cheesy way that you can do these things. Please go out, give them a go. Oh, and also don't be afraid to do things solo. I've been here on my own all day and I've had a lovely time. So yeah, until next time, take care guys.